curious knows. Tesla's time machine. A thought experiment. Segment 1. Waves beyond the visible. The clouds have gathered above Colorado Springs. They do that here. Not slowly, not gently. Bruce, they erupt across the sky. Great curtains of violet and bruised blue rolling in over the dry prairie. A storm is coming. The air smells sharp, Pivot zone. And in the middle of the field, a long, narrow man walks with a notebook in his hands and static in his hair. Nikola Tesla, 43 years old, restless, alone. He doesn't flinch when the lightning cracks across the sky. He's not afraid of storms. He wants them. He believes lightning is the handwriting of the universe. That it leaves messages scrawled across clouds, messages only he can read. Around him stands a strange, barn-shaped lab. Its walls rattle with wind, and at its heart, the monster, his magnifying transmitter, a coil taller than a man, wound tighter than a violin string. It hums faintly, even before the power is turned on. He steps inside. The room smells of scorched dust and candle wax. There's a faint tremble under the floorboards, like a cat purring somewhere in the dark. On the table, wire scraps, half-assembled circuits, a coffee cup dried to a ring. He sets down the notebook, opens it. Graphite fingerprints on yellow paper. There it is again. The equation he keeps returning to. Not a line. A ripple. He writes beneath it. He adjusts the copper dial with trembling fingers. His assistant watches from the corner. A young man with wide eyes and damp palms. Are you sure this is safe? Tesla doesn't answer. He's already listening, not to the man, but to something else. A loner. A humming, he swears, lives beneath the human hearing range. A song of the earth itself. Begin, Tesla says. The assistant throws the switch. The room explodes with white light. Papers lift from the desk as if grabbed by ghost fingers. B. The transmitter sings, high and metallic, an alien violin. Sparks fly from the metal tower. The scent of electricity is sharp, singed wool, silver in the nostrils. Tesla steps closer, arms out like a priest at an altar. He's not afraid. In that moment, he sees it, not with his eyes, with the space behind them. A corridor of light, a ripple moving sideways, like water folding backward through itself. For just a flicker, the ticking of the clock stops. No sound, no motion. The heartbeat of the universe on pause. Then, boom, the coil discharged. A searing whip of light crashes through the air and melts a knob off the far wall. The assistant screams. Tesla just stares. Did you see it? He whispers. The boy blinks. See what? Tesla turns back to the notebook. The page, now scorched, at one corner. He draws a spiral, a wave, a loop beneath it. He writes, time is not constant. It can be bent. It can be tuned. What if he was right? What if this wasn't an accident? But the first note in the song that no one else could hear, but listen to it. Segment 2, a missing notebook. The year is 1943. Manhattan hums in winter silence. Snow drifts between grey buildings like forgotten ash. Inside the New Yorker Hotel, room 3227, the lights are dim, and Nikola Tesla is no longer breathing. The room is small, monastic, a single bed with worn linen. Stacks of papers tower like crumbling cliffs beside a desk lamp that flickers, and then steadies. There's no radio, no phone, just books and boxes and blueprints, spidery lines on parchment, curling at the edges. On the floor, near the bed, a single scrap of paper. The ink has run slightly. You can just make out what it says. The frequency of thought may leave a trace. The maid finds him first. She gasps, backs out of the room, as if Tesla might still be humming the photo. In under 3 hours, the hotel is swarming, but not with mourners, with men in grey suits. The Office of Alien Property arrives first. They say it's routine. They say it's protocol. But they move like they've been expecting this. They catalogue everything. Notebooks, diagrams, a trunk filled with glass, tubes, and strange brass instruments. They take it all, dive, including one black-bound notebook labeled simply Colorado. No one sees it again. Later, the FBI steps in, and someone makes a phone call to a quiet MIT professor. Peel's name. Dr. John G. He's handed the contents of Tesla's life and asked just one question. Is there anything dangerous in here? Poof. He reviews the files for days, quietly, then returns his verdict. It's speculative, not practically significant. And just like that, Tesla's legacy is shelved, tucked into locked drawers, buried. But outside the filing cabinets, a whisper begins. That there is something in those papers that Tesla was working on more than coils and currents, that he had built or nearly built a device to bend time itself. In the years that followed, unofficial reports leak out. One hotel worker claims to have seen sketches before they vanished. It looked like a mirror, but with two sides, she said. You didn't see your reflection. You saw somewhere else. Other rumors speak of a device that pulsed like a heartbeat and made the shadows in the room move backwards. And then there's a note, allegedly scribbled in Tesla's margin. To stand stilled in time is to fall through. All of this is hearsay. None of it is proven. But here's what we do know. Tesla believed time was not fixed. He believed it could be slowed, perhaps reversed, by manipulating frequencies, pi. And in his final years, he spoke often of memory, of dreams, of visions that came not in sleep, but in vibration. He once told a reporter, when I close my eyes, I can feel the hum of history behind me. It's not dead. It's not gone. It's just quiet. Did he find a way to listen more closely? Or did he leave us instructions? What became of that notebook? What secrets were locked away in that quiet hotel? The final echo chamber of one of history's strangest minds. We may never know for certain, but some say by if you press your hand against the right piece of glass. You might still feel it warm, like the machine had only just stopped. This is curious now. And the hum is only growing louder. Segment 3, Project Rainbow and Tesla's Ghost. The year is 1943. Again, but now we're far from Manhattan. A Navy yard, Philadelphia, a ship, the USS Eldridge, bobs gently in harbor mist, and beneath its deck, something unnatural stirs. According to official history, nothing happened. But according to the other history, the whispered one, this was Project Rainbow, an attempt to make ships invisible, not to the eye, but to radar. A wartime experiment in electromagnetism, a weapon of stealth. But the story doesn't stop there. Not if you listen to those who were there and lived to regret it. They say the machine wasn't built for invisibility. They say it did something else. They say it warped time. Flash of green lights, screams across the radio, then silence for several minutes, or maybe seconds. The ship vanished, gone from Philadelphia harbor. Witnesses claimed it appeared briefly in Norfolk, Virginia, 200 miles away, before snapping back. But when it returned, something was wrong. The crew, some were missing. Some had gone mad, and some were found fused, melted into the metal walls of the ship itself, as if their atoms had failed to keep up with the jump. Others claimed they were stuck, not in walls, but in time. They flickered, one man said, like bad film, like they weren't all here. The Navy denied it all. No records, no loss. But someone had to have designed that equipment, that frequency generator, that field harmonizer. And when conspiracy theorists looked closer, they found a name buried deep in pre-war pattern. Nikola Tesla. Some believe Tesla had been approached by the US military before he died. To that, his research, the missing notebook, may have been used in secret. But Tesla had refused to help them weaponize time. The universe is not a sword, he once said. It is a harp, and you must not pluck it with violence. But maybe they didn't need him. Maybe they just needed his notes. The same frequency patterns from Colorado Springs. The same overlapping wave field. The same strange hum that once made shadows fall backward in his lap. Here's the part that haunts in mind. What if the Philadelphia experiment wasn't just an accident? What if it was a crude attempt to repeat Tesla's time fall without him? And what if, just maybe, the machine worked because Tesla wasn't there to tune it. It didn't know when to stop. 4 decades after, strange sightings were reported near the Eldridge. Flickers of sailors walking the deck who weren't there. Machines on board that turned on by themselves. A radio transmission. Years after the ship was decommissioned, repeating the same phrase. He warned us not to listen. Could Tesla's fingerprints have been on something darker than he ever intended. Poor was the ghost of his genius, simply echoing through time, misunderstood, misused, and now bleeding through history like a faulty recording. If you stand in the engine room of the Eldritch today, you might feel it, a hum, faint, like a machine that's still thinking, or a ghost, still tuning his heart. Segment 4. The time machine was never a machine. Intermittent, pencil scribbling, clock ticking, gradually warping into heartbeat, faint, lullaby music box. Melody near the end whispered Tesla quotes, buried low in the mix. What if the time machine was never built? What if Tesla's greatest invention was an idea? He spoke often of visions, not just dreams, but fully formed designs, entire blueprints that appeared in his mind. He could walk around them, study them, make adjustments, without ever touching a tool. P said once, my brain is only a receiver. He didn't want to conquer the world. He wanted to tune it. In a world driven by Edison's light bulbs and Fords, assembly lines, Tesla was something else entirely. P believed the mind, the human spirit, could ripple through time, not with gears, not with guns, but with frequency. Think about this. Tesla walked through the ruins of his own failures. He saw the death of his wireless tower, his stolen patents, his name pushed aside in textbook, and still he believed in beauty, in harmony, in the future. In his final days, they called him Pre. Said he talked to pigs. Back, he fed one every day, and swore she spoke to him right. Maybe he saw connections where we saw care. He once said, Bear, if you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And maybe that's the real machine. Not something made of brass and wires, but a way of thinking. A tuning of the human mind to something bigger. Maybe Tesla's time machine was never meant to move us through history. Maybe it was meant to help us listen to it. And in listening, we remember, and in remembering, we heal. So tonight, as you lie in the soft dark and the hum of the world fades to a whisper, ask yourself, what is memory, if not time touching the soul? What is a dream, if not a door? And what is Nikola Tesla? Be, if not a man who tried to hand us the key? Was a thought experiment. Good night, traveler.